Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, late to the gate and racing out of lane 8. Your men, Dex, Boota and Isid.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Bikes to the van, phone in hand, BMX track in the foreign land. Dex missed his flight, it's late, I don't know why we're late to the gate. And bikes, we ride all night. Euro trips and ride our hype. From nationals to car park chats, we chase that dream in new era caps. Sugar daddies in the VIP. BMX moms still faster than me. Dex and Boona is it too. Talking trash, we ride it true. Baggy jeans and studded belts. The body is chaos, nothing else. Clips or flats, deadlifts or squats. Still arguing like it means a lot. Crank it up to 99. UK tracks with Euro lines. We're all slow, we talk a lot, but for real, this is all we've got. Late to the day, y'all.
Here we are, we're back again, Late to the Gate podcast. I was thinking, I'm going to get on the AI and see if I can do a Christmas version of the song. It might be a little bit of effort on my part, but I wonder if I can do it.
That's a great idea. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, Christmas is coming, and it'd be nice. I want to record another show before Christmas, if we can, and it's always me that makes it hard to do it, but I think we can. And I think you should send in your Christmas wishes and your New Year's resolutions, and we'll go through them on the Christmas show. And we'll see if we can have some Christmas shenanigans. Anyway, we're back. We've got a few things to talk about. We're going to dedicate a bit of time to Cheddar. But what's happened since we last got together?
Ross didn't give us an exclusive. Livid.
Yeah, he didn't. He left that piece of info till, 2 days after? He's moved on from Be Strong.
It's a big move. I wonder what's next. I seen him flaunting Red Bull the other day. Yeah, they sent him a gift. So I messaged him. I said, hey, new sponsor. And he went, I wish. So,
yeah, Red Bull helmet. That's great if you get that gig. Maybe he's full-time with the butcher. And why not? I would.
Yeah. Tagging him in.
The thing we know about Ross is he's commercially on the ball, isn't he? So he's gonna find opportunities. He'll have things on the boil, and he'll find his own way and curate his own kind of, I guess, his set up around him, I suppose.
Yeah, I was excited to see him at the Grands. I suppose there's something else we could quickly talk about. He didn't go. In fact, nor did Beth. So both didn't go, did they? So we didn't have we didn't have any the elite riders from the program. George Hunt went. He raced in elite, but he didn't do too bad either. To be fair, he
looks good.
A lot closer to.
Yeah, I saw a few laps. Thought he looked really good.
Because did Ross say he was going?
Yeah,
he did. I wonder why. I mean, it's got to be a mission. I've never done it. A lot of people do make it a bucket list thing, but off air. I don't know who wants to own up for it, but somebody said it was the shittest race on
the
earth.
Grands. I don't think I said the shittest race. I just said it. For me, it feels shit. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to go and have a go at it once. But is it 4 days? 4 days to do your race?
Yeah.
It's days between motos, isn't it?
It's just that time out, isn't it? And it's always, it's in the Midwest. It's so cold. People always come away ill, don't they? That's what they talk about, because of the dust. Temporary track, whether that's your thing or not, are you going to want to do that or, spend a weekend in Sarasota?
I mean, there's pros and cons. I think it's really impressive that they can build that track. But on the flip side, I don't think the track's that good. It just looks short. And if I'm going to go all that way and I'm spending all that money, I want to ride a good track. The night show looks sick. Don't get me wrong. I'd go and sit and watch the night show.
That's the thing, innit? That's like the draw to it. It's like the end of the season. Normally titles get decided, whereas this year actually it was all sewn up before the night show. And I think a lot of it's just nostalgia. It feels like they do it, don't they? It's Thanksgiving's weekend. It's like bring the whole end of season all to an end, should I say. I'm with you on the track, Sean. I watched a bit of the pre-show. I think they said that they get in 13 days beforehand, but then they have to close down the weekend before. So there's another show in the neighbouring hall. So that they get in 13 days, but they have 7 days to build. Right. I'm it looks okay for that, but like I said, if you were to put a event on that's similar in the sun, which one are you going to go to?
Yeah. I think it'd be sick as an elite because you're racing every hour. But I think Bryn Savage put on his, I think it was like 4 hours between his semi and his final. And there's no warm up. You've just got to go out and do a lap. But after 4 hours of sitting around, I mean, what do you even do for 4 hours? Because you don't want to sit and watch the races because that will fatigue you. Do you just go and have a little nap somewhere or something? I don't know.
I reckon
It
that's
just
what you
doesn't
have to do.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I
appeal
want to do
does
it once, but it doesn't appeal.
I do see people like just lying down, and it's like 3 degrees or something like that, and you're in a warehouse. It would be like Sheffield Indoor, but like on steroids, like freezing cold. The air is obviously thick with dust. Hard surface. Just busy. I don't know. I guess it is. It's all about nostalgia, I suppose. I wouldn't say it's the greatest race on earth, but I've never been. So
it's funny you've mentioned Sheffield Indoor because we're having a feature later on, and I've probably just ruined one of them, but it's dead obvious. So later on, we're going to do a feature because whilst we was looking for this Cheddar episode, I was trying to find a Cheddar picture, so I went through all my old photos, and then I thought, let's play a game for Booter and yourself is guess the track. So I've got loads of photos lined up. You're going to guess the track. Sheffield Indoor is on there, but that was only it was obvious one, but it was just so we could talk about it.
Yeah.
But,
Right, well, I'm looking forward to that. So, Grands, shout out Matt Barnard. He won. I can't remember if it was in the 20 or the Cruiser, but what a year he's had rounding that up.
He looked quick. Like, he pulled a bike on people by the end of the first straight as well, by the way.
Yeah, beat Antti Contes. I think it was Cruiser he won.
Cruiser. So he's winning everything.
Got in the mix on 20.
He's put on 20 kilograms of lean muscle mass.
I don't know what his race, because don't they have 2 races as well, like Racer Champion and Grands?
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Or something else.
Yeah,
anyway, Bryn won one of them.
Yeah, I think, Bryn won the ROC. I saw the plate. But
again, I couldn't find any races. I'm watching like moto, and then the next one was like a semi, and then it went to like a moto. I'm like, the fuck's going on here? So hard to follow.
The curation of BMX content when it comes to results and easily finding the content you want to see is pretty rubbish. But that's because it's hard and there's loads of information and you rely on volunteers. But it's a bit of a nightmare trying to find BMX content. What I do want to do, though, is when I was cruising around, and I want to shout out the Berm because he's curated all of the elite finals since the beginning of time, and he's found every video that he could find and he's put them on his website. So you can go on there and you can watch 2004 Valkenswaard World Cup final if you want. You can watch Adelaide 2009. They're all on there. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass finding stuff, but when someone like the Berm does it, it's great to find that content.
And that's got to be doing it for the love, no money.
Big time.
Nearly said love, not money. And yeah, there's an old sponsor. Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, definitely. Love Not Money was when Rooster started that and he put that team together. I don't know who invented that graphic, but I used to love that. I just loved the simplicity of it. I loved his logo. I loved his concept. I think, if I remember this correctly, I think somebody stole his logo. There was a commercial company that ended up using it, and whether they deliberately stole his or whether they just happened to come up with exactly the same idea, I'll never know. But I think it got stolen, and I think legally it was just too hard or expensive to deal with. I hope I'm not making that up, James. You can confirm.
I didn't know that, if that is true.
I think somebody did steal that logo for something. Maybe
it was
not even related to BMX.
That was a good sponsor, that, because he was doing things that were a bit out of the box in terms of things like photo shoots and all that kind of stuff. He was trying to put it out there in magazines. It was cool. But
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the photo shoot, and that was Sooty was there, and Gildog, and who else was on there?
Can't remember who else we had on it. Shane Dean,
maybe
was he a crew lad?
Yeah,
like
Shane
Matt
was
Saunders.
Yeah, Matt Saunders.
And was there someone called
Peeps was
Joe?
on it at some point.
Peeps was definitely on it at some point.
Yeah,
that was good. I loved it when he did that. Sometimes in BMX, it takes someone to stick the neck out and try something a bit different.
To be fair, it was my last sponsor, because then after that, we went to BMX Hype, and that was in 2012. Yeah, he was my last sponsor, he was.
Here's one for you, boys. Sorry, just a sideway on that one. So Crew 19 put a post out a few weeks ago talking about Rooster and how he gave it a good effort and, put up some extra to the team rather than just here's a jersey and let's, get a gazebo space. Crew 19's put on a bit of a post about saying how diluted the BMX space was with teams that weren't factory, that, you know, you were just kind of like wearing a shirt and almost being away from your club and away from your mates. And our Crew 19 was just basically just, if you want to wear the jersey, that's cool. If not, all right. What's your take on that? Like, whether it's a team, whether it isn't a team, like, is it the more the merrier, or is it diluting away from who is actually on an actual factory team?
Do you want to go first, Dex?
Yeah, it used to be that I didn't care that much, and I thought the idea of teams was great, even if it wasn't factory. But maybe that was because clubs weren't necessarily offering that level of camaraderie that teams were. That's maybe changed now because I haven't done a lot, or maybe it's on the club. And I think after Sean said his bit, I'm going to loop back and just talk about clubs because it relates to some of the moves for 2026, where there are big club identities, but maybe not in the UK.
I think yeah. I mean, clubs are getting better and better. When we used to have a club was you just rock up on a Tuesday night, you'd ride, and then you'd go home. Now there's like structure because obviously the kids are at Nuneaton BMX Club, so they have training on a Monday, and then you have your open gates on a Thursday. Every club now has 2-3 coaches, all level 2 BMX coaches. There are some people out there coaching that haven't got coaching badges as well, but we won't put their names on it. But so yeah, coaching, club riding should be more. I think a lot of people want to be on a team. I have people coming up to us all the time going, "Oh, is there any spaces on BMX Hype?" It's like, hang on a minute. We'll approach you if we want you. You don't approach us, kind of thing. That's how you get a sponsor. You don't need a sponsor. And there's so many sponsors out there that are shit that just say, you can have a shirt, you're on the team, you can come and stay in. Whereas BMX Hype's always been, and we're not the best sponsor at all because we don't give them a bike, but we'll give you 2 sets of kits. We'll give you coaching throughout. You'll get like your race kind of days plans sorted, all that kind of stuff. But for me as well, that's for BMX Hype's like a second tier race team. The top teams, you want your bike, your kit, and everything else. But if you're just getting a shirt, what's the point? You're saving yourself 30 quid.
Yeah. To summarise there, I think there's factory, there's top end, which, you know, you're winning nationals, you're winning Brits, you're probably in world plates, aren't you? And then, to be honest, nowadays club is your best place where the community is, I suppose, isn't it? Like, don't just sell yourself out to go and wear a shirt and feel like you're away from your mates and away from your community and the community feel. I suppose that's where we are, really, isn't it? I think it is a lot better than where we used to be. You know, to get a clinic or a trained coach to come to your club was pretty rare back in the day, wasn't it? Whereas it seems to be pretty standard now, doesn't it? It's quite formal.
Yeah.
It might even be required to run coaching sessions and things like that. Otherwise, it's just gates. So yeah, I think I'm probably erring back towards clubs.
Me too.
Clubs is where it's at.
I think so. Yeah.
And I spotted a couple of things interesting between the last podcast and this one, is that I noticed there was a couple of Brits that were moving to join French clubs, I think, and race the French Cup. So definitely race the French Cup, but the way it's worded, and I'm looking at 15 BMX's website around who's moving to different teams for next year. Sienna Harvey is going to race French Cups, and you know it appears to suggest that she's joining Saint Etienne, and then Beth Shriver going to race French Cups, and appears to be suggesting that she's joining the French club Sombreux. I'm going to pronounce that wrong, so somebody get me right on that one. I think that's pretty exciting, and I think if you're serious about racing and you want to give yourself the hardest stuff to do, and it's a bit of a Michael Bias moment, go and race in France.
I think we know the French structure works because we've seen what it produces. They get paid, don't they? They have a club pro. I've noticed they've gone north of France as well, so it ain't too far away, is it? If we was organised, I'd have messaged Bloomy and asked him for a bit of a scoop on this. And
I'll message the girls, I'll message the girls. Yeah. Fair play to them. If they can get some funding, they can support their dream. And I've noticed that Sienna's, at least, because I just Googled it literally now, it says recruiting on national division. So does that mean he did say there that she will, join the England International Driver. It says
I love
we're honoured to host
them drivers, don't they?
Yeah, pilot. I like it.
Yeah, I want to know
seems
more.
like a lot
I
more
wanna
of a
know more.
professional format. Yeah, I'd love to know the ins and outs about it. What commitment does that give then the girls to go and coach at certain times a year or race certain races?
It does need researching. I'd like to go over to France for a month and just stay with a club and just see what they do, how they can afford to pay these pros an actual wage, because I think they have like an obligation to then coach the younger ones coming through. So you're paying them a proper salary. So where are they getting that money from? Where'd you get your money from?
Yeah, well, maybe it's more than £5 for gates when you go to a French club.
Well, there is
Well,
that.
let's find out.
It definitely is. We know this. Their subs are big, but then they get a high level of service. But yeah, Beth is on Saint-Brieuc. So yeah,
But BMX, after you've bought the bike and the kit, which is a massive outlay, but after you've done that, it is quite cheap to go and ride at your local track, because you pay £5 and you ride for 2 hours. I played football with my mates the other day, and we all paid £7.50 each. And I'm thinking, all I've done is run round.
Yeah, you could run around the park. Jumpers for goalposts. All right. Any other news before we jump into the deep dive topic, which, Sean, you put a lot of effort into?
Fucking love cheddar. I mean, we've been wanting to do this since day dot, and we said we were going to be a bit of like a current but also old school affairs. This is the cheddar episode people have been waiting for. And I've written a list, and I don't prepare for anything. Boot was crying. He don't want me to say something, but you're getting the unfiltered version, people.
Well, there'll be bits I don't know. So how many cheddars did you do? How many did you attend?
See, right, okay. Cheddars I attended for Brits, because there was nationals as well.
Yeah,
I did
and
1,
even
2,
special
3,
events.
4, 5, 6, 7 cheddar Brits. Here's another stat. Cheddar was actually my worst place to go and race the Brits, because in all my years, I've only ever not made 4 finals, and 2 of which were at Cheddar. So,
I remember a crash in the first turn for you.
I crashed in the first turn in the final of the year I was retaining my title, and I also crashed in that same corner in the semi the year after.
Did you do a collarbone at Cheddar?
No, I didn't ever break anything. No, I had a broken wrist once when I raced Cheddar.
Right.
But yeah, Cheddar, there was a lot of Cheddars. 7 Brits there.
But then there was Champions of Cheddar, and there was Euro rounds, and there was nationals.
And nationals and everything else,
Yeah.
But yeah.
How many did you do, Dan?
I think when I look back, the first time I went to Cheddar was 2002, and it was the old club champs, and I think that was the first event they ever did.
I think it was the Brits was 03 the year after.
Yeah, it was like a tester to see if they could do the national event. Oh man, I went until it shut down. But how many I raced, I didn't really race after 2011. So sort of like 9 years-ish.
I think 2012 was the last race there.
Was it? So that was around that kind of time. And I think 2002 I went, and this is like bearing in mind I've been racing 2 years at this point. Now, I just was like, what the hell is this? The track was from the future on it. Everything was 300 foot tall. It was so peaky. I went and just... I could not believe what I was seeing. I'd never seen anything cut into the side of a hill like that. It was obviously Rick 40 build that was it was huge, wasn't it, Sean?
Was it a Rick 40 build?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Rick 40 build, boys, Pete Phillips on the corners with the tarmac.
Yeah, it was Pete Phillips and Sons. Because they tarmac from day dot, didn't they, I think? I don't think it was ever a dirt turn there. But if you remember, like the Mark 1 build was huge roller out the gate, double, and then it dropped off. It was a big bomb hole, and then a monstrous step up.
I've written here, Mark 1 was best.
Yeah.
I'll
agree with you, but I think maybe like 3 years in, it settled a bit. And I think there was a bit more dust everywhere. And I think that was probably in collaboration with my riding getting better as well, to be fair. Because the first year I went there, I just, I was last every lap, got knocked out. And then, I had some okay results. But the Mark 1 design, so, triple step up out the first turn, which was classic, wasn't it? And then like those 4 doubles on the third straight. Again,
with the decider as well.
Classic. Yeah, the decider, everything about it was epic on it. The arena, the feeling of the kind of like the spectating there.
It was sick.
So,
like the 4 quads as well down that third straight, but then they were getting bigger as you were jumping. Every single one was getting a little bit bigger. Probably if you think about nowadays, you would overshoot all of them. In fact, that's probably why they changed it, to be fair. They felt because I remember, I think it was the second one. I never hit the downside on that second one.
Like that was it. I think that's what it was. Maybe there was concerns after the first year, and it felt like everything was mellowed out. And then I think towards the later stages of that build, it felt like everything got way too small, even for us. So pros weren't hitting anything.
That massive one at the end of the third straight, the TJ Baldwin one, was that Mark 1 or was that at some point after? That was after.
I think that was about 3.
Yeah.
No, they went from they went from the 4 doubles, then to 3 doubles, with the last one being big, and then I think they took the takeoff off and made it a step up, didn't they? As the last one.
Yeah. That was and they were long, weren't they? At that point.
Yeah.
There was a few iterations. The main ones were like the big step up into the first turn turned into a triple step up with a really, really long lander that you could pedal all the way into the turn.
Almost,
just a flat lander really, and then the triple. Yeah, there was a few iterations of the second straight one. The third straight got changed a bit.
Still, what a place! It
was brilliant, and I could never ever criticise any version of the track that I went on. I think I maybe did 3 Brits there, apart from it was sometimes a little bit rich in surface. Sometimes a little bit too much.
There's
surface.
a picture actually, isn't there, Sean? I remember this now. Ash Davey and Cal, and we got there. Do you remember the picture?
I remember
where
this.
we'd walked the track when we got there, and who knows? All the years just meld into one. To be honest, we'd got there and like just dragged our foot over the surface, and obviously it was like pretty sticky.
I think that was their way of protecting it, wasn't it? Like you go to Europe, it's heavy on surface because they try and cover it, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't remember how it came about, Cheddar, because it was just there, weren't it? It was like we were kids. I think we was like 14, 15. It just it turned up. So I thought it was something to do with Pete Phillips, obviously with Liam Phillips' dad, with Burnham being down the road, because it literally was down the road, wasn't it? I mean, we used to have double headers. Like one day was at Burnham, the second day was at Cheddar, at national double headers. That's where double headers came from, because we used to have nationals. It was just on the Sunday. You'd practice on the Saturday, race on the Sunday, and then was racing at Burnham. Cheddar came about. It was like, okay, we'll do national round 1 at Burnham, national round 2 the next day is at Cheddar. But like, imagine setting that up nowadays.
I don't think we could do it now. And I think it only started on the bank holidays too. So like, you think about it now, it only started on the bank holidays. So you do like Easter or May bank holiday.
And the Cheddar and Burnham one, I remember. Yeah, Easter,
Yeah, I was going to say like dual venue.
Imagine that nowadays.
Pretty mad when you think about it. Think about the logistics of that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you think about the logistics is most people just stayed at Cheddar anyway and then just drove to Burnham. But then there wasn't as many gazebos. It wasn't a thing to have a gazebo. You'd just have your camping chair with a umbrella kind of thing if it pissed it down. There was a few gazebos, but it weren't loads of gazebos like it is now with
I'd get shot
people
gazebos.
having warm-up bikes and
get a shot of them. Ban gazebos and ban long seat posts.
No, I like gazebos. I think you got to have gazebos because English weather's crap.
How about gazebos away from the edge of the track?
Yes.
Is that the compromise?
Well, that was the thing. We did at Leicester 2018 national. Gazebos were not allowed to be pinned against the fence, and it's now a thing. I don't think anyone has it pinned against the fence, but I also think, and again, it comes down to cost and whether people can raise the money. You put a stand in. Gazebos are at the back, and then you can watch the racing, go off, and all that. It's not feasible because it's too much money. But Scotland had a little one in the back of a lorry. We had one in the back of a lorry. It's just whether the clubs are organised enough and can find that extra bit of cash. Just get it.
It was nice when EA was one of the sugar daddies, because then you always had a good scaffolding stand.
But that's why Cheddar was good, because on the bottom straight, you always had a stand there.
Yeah.
Just a little. I mean, it wouldn't pass health and safety regulations now. There's no way that's getting passed because it was sketchy as hell.
I remember the first straight one looking really sketchy because that hill was that first straight. Because you remember for a long time there was no spectating on the first straight. Yeah. I don't even think they had access to the field technically. And then that stand went up for one of the Euro rounds or maybe even the Euro champs, which I think might have been 06. It was definitely rounds in 5.
Yeah.
And I think maybe champs were 06 or 07. Anyway, those stands were sketchy.
So are we saying that Cheddar would not get a national these days? would it fail?
There's
in the
cabins
fact
built on
that
there now, I think, Sean.
Well, yeah. If the track was still there, would BC turn it down because there's not enough space for gazebos?
Bloody hope not.
No, because I think they seem to, at least from my point, listen, I feel a little bit unqualified to comment on it because I haven't been to a national in years. But I think Cheddar seemed to do, every year there was some sort of progression. There was some sort of, we've built an extra pit area. We've put this terraced area here where they flattened one section and the, behind the start hill, or sort, where you used to go up to the pits, they'd flatten a certain area there, and they seem to just basically find a way to create it. Do you know what I mean? I think it'd pass because they just find a way to create the space. If they needed, however many hundreds of meters of flat area, they'd just create it.
Well, I'm glad it existed. I mean, if it weren't for Pete getting in touch. Well, no, who was it? The guy that I messaged Liam, didn't I? And Liam sent me a voice note, but I'm not going to play it because he's told me not to quote him. But we'll quote him anyway. He said that Pete had got in touch with the guy, or the guy had got in touch with Pete because they were close by. In the sense, I think it was like 8 miles away, Burnham is from Cheddar. And he was interested in sport. They did the Cheddar Challenge there anyway, which was the downhill mountain biking race. And he wanted to bring BMX to it. And Pete oversold him a dream for BMX. And Cheddar was created, and we had a hell of a run.
Oh, it was the best. Everything about it was amazing. Even, and I'm Googling because I can't remember the name of it, but even the services, right, on the M5 on the way down was like the best services you'd ever go to all year. So you'd be heading down the M5 and you'd be getting close to Cheddar and you'd pull in.
Michael Wood and Strensham.
Michael Wood, that's the one. That was my favourite. Yeah, that was the one. I like Michael Wood.
That's so good.
Michael Wood services. So in there, good high quality services, and then pull out. You might be pulling a caravan, you might not. Get to Cheddar, and then it would start to get a bit busy, and then you enter the place, and you have to find somewhere to park, and then you disappear off into reception to get whatever it is, your plot, wherever you're going to be, and then the minute you're there, there's just people everywhere because I was never the first there. So then there's just a sea of faces as you pull into Cheddar.
I remember as a kid coming off the motorway, off the M5, thinking you're there, and then going, oh my God, I still got 20 minutes to get to Cheddar. I'm so hyped to get there. And then rolling in. I would never know where we even parked or camped until pretty much the next day, because I'd get out the van and I'd be with all the lads and
at the bottom,
just mess
where the
around.
bar was, yeah,
literally at the bottom, and then you'd shoot straight up to the top, be on the skate park, come back down to the bottom. It's getting dark. You're thinking, shit, I don't even know where I'm parked. Like, I've not even seen my parents since I've got out the van. And then I'd sleep in someone else's tent, and then the next day I'd be trying to find my parents, basically. and they know you're safe because you're in Cheddar. Like, where else are you going to go? There's literally nothing else. I think there's Yoel Valley next door or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that was it, though. There was like there was cameras and a barrier at the front of the park, and then after that, it's just free game, wasn't it? Everyone would just sort of like meet up, and you'd pull in. It is a story. When I was 17, I passed my driving test on a Thursday. So I passed my driving test. As soon as I got the opportunity to drive, on my birthday, driving lessons, tried to pass it as quick as possible for the sole reason to drive myself to BMX races. That was the biggest motivation. Yeah. And I passed pretty quickly, and I passed my test on the Thursday before the first national at Cheddar. And Thursday night, I took my mum to IKEA to go on a motorway for the first time. So, just one of them, like, can we go somewhere? I can, can we go somewhere just to test the motorway out? And obviously we've done lots of travelling, like all the kids that spend a lot of time in cars, they're probably more knowledgeable than a lot of adults that have gone and, learned how to drive. But that Thursday night, we went up to IKEA, and then Friday night, drove to Cheddar on my own. And like, a lot of people are like, first time on your road, you're doing 150-mile round, straight trip, actually. Yeah. But that was just the best, 17, going and camping with my mates, go down into the bar, like it was the best thing ever.
What were you driving then?
First car was a Fiat Punto. P-Reg.
That's not a booter car at all.
On the topic, do you know what? This cars on this on the
this
list.
Is quite funny though, because actually what I was going to say was with my BMX career at like 17, 18, 19, 21, whatever, we didn't used to have any money. I had no money whatsoever. Part-time college kid. So like Everything was on a
You had
budget.
hundreds of cars, though. You're on car 50, I reckon, by now.
I'm not. I'm not that bad. But yeah, but Sean, you got to realise these were £400 cars. So
Yeah.
you would never do it to your kid nowadays. You'd never trust them. In fact, that same Punto might have been the next year for the double header, the Burnham and Cheddar round. The exhaust fell off, literally outside Cheddar.
I remember this.
Do you remember this?
Coming up there.
So this was funny.
miles
It came
away.
off. It came off on the way there, and at the time, I can't remember what. I think there was like overflow parking across the road from Broadway House. So I
Yeah.
parked it there, carried all my gear in, and then obviously the next day I had to go to Burnham, and they used to. I can remember specifically there was a lad from Peckham called Freddie Nichols, and his dad saw me pulling up, and he was just creasing, laughing, pulling up with this car. I'd ripped the exhaust off; it was in the boot. So like they were the days I didn't have any money, but it didn't matter. You're away with your mates, and the event was the highlight of the year.
Have I made this up? Did you drive it up Cheddar Gorge and just like floor it just to get the noise to go around
Maybe
Cheddar, or was that someone
it
else?
sounds like me. It'd be one of the cars. Yeah, it'd be one of the cars over the years. Yeah.
Well, I've put Booters' cars were always too low for Cheddar.
Yeah, do you remember the Passat getting stuck on the way out?
I can't remember the Passat getting stuck, but Cal slid into the DMs when I put the picture up, and he said,
I can't remember if Cal was with him, whether he was in the back. But it was one way going in and one way going out.
Yeah.
So you're going out past the swimming pool near the barrier there. And
I do remember this because I was in the Astrovan.
Yeah, I had this Passat wagon, and it was like slammed like 200 mil.
Slammed.
It was ridiculous. It was a hearse.
Slammed.
And every speed up I took, I had to kind of do it sideways and at speed, so it'd just scrape and go over. It was class. I was, 19, 20. Anyway, because we were queuing to get out the barrier, I had to hit this speed up really slowly, and I got stuck. And the hilarious part was there was a guy that was behind that used to obviously race that was in an AA van. So the AA van pulled me off the bump and went out again. But I'm holding the rest of the campsite up, for how many minutes. Everyone's trying to leave on a Sunday night. But yeah, it's just being a kid, wasn't it? It's just a kid, really.
That Passat got stuck getting into Bournemouth. I forgot about it getting stuck getting out of Cheddar because we were all swinging on it to get it over the speed humps at Bournemouth after you'd kind of knocked all the stuff off in that rain when you'd hit that speed hump.
Yeah, I did so many chassis modifications to get it as low as possible. That was just the vibe back in the day. So it
And then
ran.
you load it
That
with
is
a
a nice
heavy
looking
tent,
car, that.
a bike, or your race kit that's just going to slam it even more.
Oh yeah, we had like 5 of us in coming down to Bournemouth that time. There's 5 of us, and it literally mowed the tarmac all the way there. They were great times.
But yeah, what a place. I mean, if we go back like to things, I mean, that's the bottom of the place. Like go up to the top end. Did you ever try the Cheddar Challenge element, the last bit, as you go down the hill, round the corner, and then you pop out the field on your BMX?
Yeah.
Because that was horrendous. I mean, Dex, you might have been like not into doing that because you'd have been like late 20s, early 30s?
Yeah, well, probably older. I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah.
Oh man, as a 15, 16-year-old kid, just macking down that hill, holding on with no suspension, was vile.
Sean, did you know that obviously the Cheddar downhill race, there was also a cross-country race? Dex, you were doing some Googling. Tell us what you found out.
Yeah. Because so when you played Liam's voice note, I was like, I want to find out a bit more about Cheddar Challenge just to see who's doing what. Anyway, just randomly Googled a date, and I got the results for the Cheddar Challenge cross-country mountain biking in 2005, and first lap mini wee boys race, little kids.
Is that
Somebody
what it's
won
actually
it.
called? Wee. Shut up.
One lap mini wee boys race. Lando Norris won. No, I'm not joking.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so he was a mini wee boy at some point and raced that. But yeah,
if you
just
Google
randomly
him,
found
a mountain
that.
bike. There's pictures of him training on a mountain bike. I
I didn't know that.
I never knew he was a cyclist. No, but he evidently was.
And he's going for the title this weekend.
Is he?
Isn't
I'm
he?
not up to speed on F1.
I
To
don't
be
really
fair,
follow F1. I just think I saw it on a picture.
but yeah,
I like F1, but there's not enough hours in the day for me to watch it. I've got too many other hobbies to do.
I'm ADHD. I can't sit for that long and watch it.
Yeah. we'll get back to Cheddar, but I got a beehive the other day. So like, as if I didn't have enough to do, I've now got some bees to look after as well.
You're like the new David Beckham.
Yeah, got some
Ooh.
bees.
He's well into beehives, isn't he?
Yeah, there's no honey yet.
It's
Anyway,
just like
back
a
to-
midlife crisis in Australia. Like everyone buys a sports car, you buy a beehive.
No,
Beehive,
this is
yeah,
it. It's got the
motorbike on list.
MX-5 as well. This is
Yeah.
you are like playing into the stereotype.
Is everything
Yeah.
all right, Dex? Do you want to talk about anything?
No, it's fine. Everything's good. Everything's good. I wish I had more time. Too many hobbies, not enough time.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
So
man.
back to Cheddar. So,
Okay, so we're still young at this point.
yeah,
We're doing stupid stuff. So this is the perfect time. Is as we're getting from the transition to like I'm now 15. If you know, you know. You know what I'm going to come up with now, Booter, don't you?
I know where you're going with this one. What you're saying is that there was potentially some underage drinking that happened at the bar.
What?
That was definitely a crux of our upbringing, wasn't it? Let's face it.
Bit of underage drinking and then chasing girls was a thing. Now we're not going to put any names on who did what, but at the top there was a playground, and at the top of the playground there's this big tower, and we used to call it Titty Tower, right? Because that's where you'd pull. But yeah, what a place! I mean, like
Who slid in with the mentions of that, Sean? Did people do
Titty
it on
Tower?
Instagram?
A few. I don't think I can put names on, but it was just a bit of a raucous place, weren't it? Like
I can
Cheddar-
specifically remember, and I was never partaking, but like the Euro rounds would
Euro
be.
rounds were bad for it, yeah.
Yeah, let's face it. There's a bunch of teenagers. There's booze involved. It's going to go off, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
remember you've got what they called, where you jump on the swing thing and it takes you all the way down. Zip
Zipline.
Yeah, the zip line, going up and down there, and then every now and again, someone would just disappear up Titty Tower, and everyone else would still be down in the playground, like drinking and things like that. And the Dutch are bad, isn't they?
I was literally about to say it'd be some Dutch involved, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they're bad for it.
class.
But
free
again,
and easy,
you
the
learn-
Dutch.
Can we say that?
I
do
think
have
we can
Dutch
say
listeners.
that.
It's pretty
Because it's not that.
non-committal, yeah.
It's complimentary as well. Like I love the Dutch, and yeah, there's a free and easiness about the Dutch.
Yes, we love the Sharks. But yeah, I mean, Titty Tower, what a place. I mean, you learn a lot in Cheddar. You learn how to ride a bike properly. You learn how to drink. You learn
Drink
how to hang
cider.
out with people.
Yeah, I wouldn't
mean,
have.
if-
I wouldn't have. I didn't drink really. Never have really to any
Hang
extent.
on my list here, I've got Booter being sick in a bag.
Right.
Yeah,
well, I will elaborate
there
on
is an
this.
occasion where you did drink.
I'll really
Um,
elaborate on this. So as I've mentioned already, the occasion gets, you get carried away. And I think every year would be like,
Every year.
let's face it, if we went to Cheddar, 2-3 times a year? Every year for
Yeah.
a good period of time. I think they would be my heaviest weekends. Yeah.
They were.
Coincidentally, a final never got made. Let's put it like, in fact, I did make some Euro rounds, finals on cruises, which if that even counts. But there was the one occasion, I can say when this one was, Sean, it was actually a proper lock-in, wasn't it? Do you remember me and you?
This was, I remember, we got there, we rolled in and we went straight on the dartboard. Remember, there was a dartboard there that had it was a tyre, weren't it? Inside a tyre.
Yeah, off in a little corner.
Yeah, ended up drinking loads of people were there and it slowly dwindled off. And then we got locked in with the barmaid and the bloke who was behind the bar. I can't remember what his name, but the barmaid was called Pam.
That's a shout out to
John
Callum.
Thatcher's, hey Pam, and then it was me, you, Cal, and there's a few of us. And Cal actually messaged me saying, "Can you remember Josh Hallen getting on the table to stage dive to the dance floor only to fall off it backwards because it moved as he jumped?" I think he
Yes.
went for a backflip.
Yes. I think that might have been a year where Orion was even DJing. That was like a later year.
Yeah, that actually went off, didn't it?
Because I think me and you, I seem to remember me and you, I'd never drank cider at all in my life. And that was the night that you referred to earlier. So we sat and drank away and we were talking to Pete Phillips. And then all of a sudden it's, there's 4 or 5 people left. And I think that was when, you're giddy. I think we ran up the campsite, didn't we?
Oh, wow.
I've been to Cheddar before, Dex, and I've pulled in at 5 p.m, 6 p.m. It's got to 2 a.m, and I've realised I haven't pitched a tent. I don't even. In fact, there was one year where I hadn't moved my car. It was in the car park at the bottom.
It just stayed there
it's
all
happened before.
weekend.
I think we ran up the campsite, Sean. I got into a sleeping bag in my tent, and 5 minutes later was sick, completely barfed all over my clothes. Had no fresh clothes for the weekend. I remember the next day getting whatever I'd worn, wherever that was, and going to Marco at Stay Strong and buying brand new clothes. I was trying to find a place to buy some boxers from. I went to Cheddar, and you can imagine the shops in Cheddar. I went into a menswear shop, which was, for shooting gear. And
where you got that jacket from?
And tweed and well, yeah. So, and I remember buying these cotton boxers for about 25 quid for 3, and just about getting by for the weekend. But they were the times.
Well, someone else has jumped in saying, "Can you remember the parrot?" Because
yes,
there was a parrot at the bottom, weren't there?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was ended up like a pool table or something in the end. But yeah, you walked in and everyone was obviously trying to teach this parrot how to swear and all this kind of stuff. Poor thing. But it just wasn't there. Cal said his name was Sonny the parrot.
Cal's memories.
Cal's got the most memories.
100%.
Honestly.
Of everything.
Cal dived in. He put, Ivesy was so drunk once that he didn't even realise he was still pissing when he turned around to say hello to me on the toilets. And he was... I will pull it out there, I reckon there were more... So as soon as you get to, 17 plus at Cheddar, everyone was racing on the Sunday with a hangover. There'd been more people with a hangover than not.
Definitely.
I can tell you when we had... It might have been Euro rounds, but it could have been other races when they'd put a marquee over the pens, like the Park for Men. I can tell you, if you were in those pens around 17 plus, and it had been sweaty, it'd be a sweaty day, that you could just smell the alcohol in the air because everyone would just be seeping out their pores. I can specifically remember it. You'd wipe your face and it would just stink of beer or cider.
Yeah, cider. We should have got this sponsored by Thatcher's.
Thatcher's gold. You can pick that up in Australia now and then. And listen, it's not big and it's not clever, but I do think in sports like BMX and other sports where you can learn to be an adult, and you can misbehave, but I think you can misbehave to the extent that you've probably got a bit of a support network around you that'll pull you back before it gets too far. Yeah. And you can learn to drink. You can learn. You're interfacing with different people of different ages, so you start to become better socially in having different kinds of conversations. There's a lot to be said for immersing yourself in these kinds of sports, because it does teach you skills that in a safer way than if you just learnt them on the street, because kids are going to misbehave. And I think if you're misbehaving certainly in a BMX environment, there's a degree of safety around it.
I think safety is the perfect thing. Cheddar was safe regardless. We had a lot of, don't get me wrong, on the track, we had a lot of hospital visits and some big crashes there. But everything was done right, wasn't it? It is a proper community. Like nowadays, when you go racing, your camping's a little bit further away from the track and all that kind of stuff. Everything was on site. And Trey messaged us as well, and he said this place could solely be why BMX used to be better.
Well, there you go then. There's your way of putting it. You got an elite rider, an ex-elite rider, world medalist. We'll bring it back a bit professionally, Dex, because you said, let's add the drink responsibly message to this part. You've got Trey, who competed at the highest level for a long, long time, and said that venue was so formative to him that he said that the BMX was a better place back then. And that's where I see it as well. Like there was a high level of competition. It was incredible. But I think, obviously, Sean and I, at our age, I think we were the perfect generation for it, Sean, because we started racing there when we were teenagers and we were early teens, and then through into our early 20s. So it was like that perfect point in time.
Yeah, we saw both sides.
And I think, I formed all my best relationships and best mates, and you could argue social skills and professional skills even, because you did meet up with these people, and it was that kind of like captive environment. Like I said, there was one way in and out, and it was everyone that was on there was up for a good time. The whole site was the BMX community. You didn't mix with the outer public, the outside public there.
Imagine, right? No if normal you booked people. A holiday that weekend.
I don't think.
And there was some people trying to have a nice meal on, I can specifically remember it. Where when you used to book, used to order food and get like a ticket or something like that.
Yeah.
And
everyone's going, yeah, that's my number. That's my number.
And literally said to someone next to us, "What's going on?" Like, why is it so busy? Why is there so many kids with bikes? Why is the scooters being thrown around? And they didn't know.
I'm
They
sure after the first one, they then announced when BMX was on, because I think they made that mistake just once though, because I mean, you'd be in for a shock, wouldn't you? If you've gone for
you'd be a bit disappointed
to go see the gorge, and then you've found this lot.
Well, it was oversubscribed anyway, wasn't it? The BMX could fill it out. You know, you used to have to, as soon as the dates had dropped, you'd ring the next day, try and get a caravan if you were fortunate enough to buy one of them. I certainly wasn't when I was 17, 18, but the BMX would fill it out, and then at Euros, obviously, it'd be way oversubscribed.
Oh, yeah.
The first Brits I went to, which you and me went, Booter, was I'd left it late, and I don't know why I'd ummed and ahed, but I suddenly decided to go, and the only pitch I could get was a hard standing caravan pitch, and I didn't have a caravan. I just had a car. So I just parked the car on it and slept in the car, and Booter put his tent up on, you get a little bit of grass for like the dog to piss on. He put his tent on that.
Do you know what though,
you could get it right in the bush, couldn't you?
I was happy that happened, and we didn't stay in a hotel, because the years that I stayed in a hotel were poorer, because it was a whole experience. It was the whole event. It was feeling integrated into the community, and I was happy to sleep in a one skin tent, on a little patch of grass, because it meant that I was there and I was involved with it.
It was great. That was my first experience, and I think that was maybe a couple of years after the Palm and the being sick in the bag. So I was really excited because I knew what it was going to be like, and fully enjoyed it. The last one ever was epic, because everyone went off and people came back, and I remember Chris Mapp came and Warren Bancroft came just to socialise for the last ever Brits. And I'll say this because I might not see him again, so if you won't get too angry. But Wazza and Mappy had a Jaeger bong, so they were having Jaeger out of one of those beer bongs, and Wazza had left his bag in the awning of my caravan, and I was asleep at night, and I think Ash Davey might have been sleeping in the awning or something like that, and these hands came through underneath the awning, like just scratching away, and it's like, what's going on here? This little hand starts scratching away, and it was Wazza trying to get his bag, because he'd left his bag, and we were all locked up, and it was late at night, so he was being respectful. He wasn't like knocking on, trying to get us to open the doors, and he found his bag, and he pulled it through, and I found out he pooed his pants, and he needed to get his bag, because he'd had too much Jaeger.
Oh, that's it. That's the Cheddar experience. If you've not soiled your clothes, mine weren't on my body; they were in a bag, and I don't think you've had the full experience.
I mean, I've got loads of things in here. Like Jules has messaged me saying, like, waking up with a carpet burn on my forehead, and not really know what had happened after realising sliding across the caravan floor.
Brilliant.
After being smashed up.
It's brilliant. Like what I mean, everyone's memories aren't actually linked to it was when I finished first. Like, how rare is that? Like, someone else would be like, oh, remember when I won? Now all the Cheddar stories are, oh, do you remember when we did this? Do you remember when we all bombed down Cheddar Gorge, 40 of us on a BMX?
Mate, that's on my list. So I've got here, going up Cheddar Gorge, taking 25 minutes to ride up the thing, if not more, and then getting down in 30 seconds. Dangerous as hell when, like, at the age of, 15, and you're all trying to... I mean, I remember going up with Will Borg, Robbie Goodman, me, Ollie Fountain. There was loads of us that went up, and we'd bomb down, and you'd try and take the corner like a race line, forgetting it's a flipping public road, and then there's cars coming up the other way, and you'd have to swerve out the way of a car, and then you'd go. I remember Will, because Will used to crash loads on the track. He was going down so fast, tried to take this corner, and I could see him going further and further and further and further out, and then just disappearing off the road, and he crashed down one of the little gullies and things like that. It's just, and we're doing this with no helmets on. You're hitting 40 miles an hour.
We did it with...
Your parents just let you go and do it.
Yeah, we did it with John Norfolk. Do you remember Jake Norfolk?
Yeah.
Obviously no longer with us. And I can't remember how many people were in the back of that van, but you pile the BMX in, and then they'd get someone else to get in beside, and everyone would be stood in there 12 deep. And then this little, whatever it was a Vito van or a transit van, I can't remember what it was, go up the hill, come back down, jump out. I'm sure I did it with Clark and Kent in their later years as well.
So sick.
See, that was it.
Yeah, Clark and Kent are up for a crazy adventure.
The stories are all coming from not things that happen on the track.
Well, should we talk about some of the things I've got on the track? Because I've got a few here.
Yeah, just before you get into that, and you mentioned Clark and Kent, there was a period where Clark and Kent actually got into racing again, wasn't there? I think Kent in particular. I remember Kent made a pretty good account of himself at Cheddar.
I remember this because me and Kent were racing in the same category, and I'm sure he had like a runoff or some other moto. And he crashed on a moto, right? And he went to take his helmet off, and everyone else had crashed, and I think Clark was like, "God, yeah, you can still qualify." So he didn't even put his helmet on. He just had it like pointing up, and it's on top, and he's just riding down like the side of the last straight.
Yeah. The last straight.
Yeah, sure, I'm gonna do it. I think he got DQ'd. And that was
Yeah.
It's what I got. Yeah.
All right,
Funny
on the
man.
track.
Well, I've put Discovery of Mim Le Pem Du. Remember this one?
Was that a Euro round?
It was a Euro round. Me and Boot we had for a phase of just randomly filming practices, and one for research purposes, but two because we were starting to make little edits and things like that. But
So
I
the
found
edit of Mim doing all those sick moves, was that you that put that together?
It's me. Yeah. It's on my personal YouTube.
Yeah.
You know it was
If
Sean
you put,
because
like,
it would have like Comic Sans.
Yeah.
Like, and now we drink. And it would pop up on the caption.
Yeah. I forget what the editing software was. It was like some like Windows editor or something.
It was
like
made
that.
on paint.
Can we link your personal YouTube in the comments?
I think if you just type Mr. Is It, I think that was my YouTube, because Kelvin's Crash is on there as well. I found Kelvin's Crash.
Oh, there's a point to talk about. So Mim was like, obviously the thing with Mim was he was just doing stupid stuff on the track when he like manual in full straights,
Nose manuals and everything. Yeah,
nose manuals. Like, I hadn't seen anyone like that apart from Dennis Tulay that do it, but not in real life. And then Kelvin's Crash, Sean. Wow.
But
before you get
going
on
back
Kelvin's
to Mim
Crash,
just quickly.
Yeah.
This is elite practice in the Euro round, and he was going. I remember the second straight because we was like, "What the fuck's this guy doing?" Because the first time we saw him, we was like, "What's that about?" So he jumps off the double onto the grass, and then jumped off the grass back onto the double, and we're like, "What the hell?" And then we started watching him, and we go, "Hold on a minute, this guy can ride a bike."
And not only that, you were fangirling him so much, but I think even after he'd done all that, he stayed to pick up litter after the race, didn't he?
No, we got steaming with him that night.
Yeah, but wasn't he just 100% sound? Like you got steaming with him. He picked up litter after the race.
Because who was the girl he was with who recently won the Worlds?
Esther Renault.
Esther.
I knew you were going to say that because
I fancy it.
Because a few of the lads are like, "Oh yeah, she's good looking. She's gay." Like, I'm pretty sure that like they could speak a bit of English, but neither of them could speak that great English, could they?
No.
I've just typed Mim Le Penadu into YouTube. He's got a little YouTube channel himself with a couple of videos of him doing like a gate start with a piece of wood. If you want to Google it, it's like a to teach your form or whatever. But he raced some decent French rounds. Did you know what? I follow him on Instagram now, and I'm pretty sure he took like some sort of training post in like Guadeloupe, like in Caribbean, French islands. I'm sure he was doing some sort of like coaching thing, but like on remote islands of some sort. Anyway,
why not?
Sweet.
Right,
The Kelvin crash then. That was a weird one. There's a couple of things I remember from this crash. One, how loud the generator is on the video of the generator is so loud, can't even hear the gate. But then, so he manuals the double and just carries on manualing and flips. But he flips so perfectly that he lands on his back, head to the floor, feet to the takeoff, and his helmet come off. Like the weirdest crash I've ever seen.
Yeah,
so
like
strange.
a zebra print THE helmet, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Which can't have been fastened up. And loads of people were moaning about that at the time. Kelvin kind of was in two camps. You either were a Kelvin fan or you weren't. And loads of people were moaning about him, going, "Oh, that's what happens if you don't fasten your helmet."
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that helmet came off. I think he always wore it a bit loose anyway. But I mean, it could have been a lot worse. All he did was got winded.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
You could see the pain in his face. We probably need to put the link on this video. If I was
I've just got it.
Enough.
Shall I put it? Shall I
Have
share
you
it?
actually? Go on, share the screen.
Yeah, you can share the screen, we'll put it on.
If people haven't seen this, they need to see this.
Was he okay? I'm presuming.
Yeah, it was just winded.
I mean, you own the media, I suppose, Sean, so we'll share it.
I'll give you the rights. Listen to how loud this generator is if it plays it with the...
This is good screen sharing, by the way.
Oh, we can't hear the generator. But look how long he's crashing for. So he's crashing from there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
Watch the pain in his
awful.
face, though.
Oh, that's horrendous. You can see his face, can't you?
I showed it Kaylee earlier because we were talking about Cheddar, and she was like, "Why are you still recording him? Why are you not going to go and run and help him?" I was like, "I don't know. I just didn't know what to do."
I'll show you our Instagram video.
Is Mim on there?
Yeah, Mim's here just for anyone watching. So
Yeah,
we've got
Mim
some
Le Pandit
got some
there.
crew races. We've got Mim Le Penardu, not spelt anywhere near correctly.
No,
But I won't play that in its entirety. But it's there if anyone wants it.
Oh, we definitely want to see that one. I'm going to go and search that one out. I remember watching that.
Yeah. But yeah, Cheddar on track. My memories are. I just remember it being stacked always. I felt like everyone became. Oh, we got a kid on cam.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking after him on my own, and he's knackered
Poor
He
lad.
looks tired.
because it is 20 past 8 here.
That's late for a little one.
Birthday party tomorrow as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go and lay down? Go and lay down, and I'll come over in a bit. That's how
Yeah,
you parent
the other thing
people.
that I used to remember with Cheddar was how fast everyone went, and they weren't going fast all year. It seemed to just they seemed to turn it on. I remember TJ Baldwin's crash. Where he
Right,
snapped his
hold
fingers.
on. On the topic of sharing screens, because I'm organised here for once, I'm going to share this screen because I've is that it? Are we on? Share to window. Is that the one?
There you go. Yeah, go find wherever you need.
Oh, good. Right. Okay. I've got this. So this is one thing that everyone remembers
Can't see
for
anything. Sean.
TJ Baldwin. Can't see it.
No, when you can just see Riverside. It's not Joe Rogan. This is
okay. Hang on.
No, we're on
Pull that up,
Infinite Loop
Jamie.
now.
it. Try sharing the other screen, Sean.
Share entire screen. That's what I'm needed. You got it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. So
Right.
a lot of people remember this because we were waiting for this all year round, weren't we?
What year is this?
Oh man,
First
2009.
Brits I went to. It's
Is
going
this
to be
09?
9, 10, something like that.
I think it's 09. I'm sure it's 09 because I'm sure I get 7th this year.
So that's only that's 3 jumps on that 4th straight. So that's
No, this is
like-
4. Yeah, this is the big ones because you can see
Okay.
how big this jump is here.
Yeah.
So at this point, he looks all right, doesn't he? And you think he's starting this, and he's not nosediving it. It's probably one of his best jumps that he's ever done.
Look how
Now,
narrow
people
his
remember
bars
it.
are.
Honestly,
It's
so
just-
people remember this from snapping the bike, but I remember it, and you'll see it as it plays on.
Floval Flyer.
One arm Steve Curtis, trying to pick up. Steve Manhattan, which is Chuck Manhattan's old man, trying to pick up the bike with one arm, and there's 2 pieces to this bike now. All of a sudden,
Go on.
it's
Oh,
great crack.
it's sliding on his chest. That must be horrendous.
Who
There's
was it?
so
who
many
passed
good
him?
things.
Is
Who
that you
was
and
that?
running
Who-
on?
Who's
So
that in
Ewan comes on
second
here.
that's gone over the line? 'Cause
Oh, that's
as he
Steve.
crashed,
Oh, and
Yeah.
He's been looking-
Stacky's picking up the back end.
And straight away, Ewan passes it off, and look what Ewan does. There you go. There's the
Oh, the
as
wave.
well.
Go ahead, guys. He's still got that.
But it's just brilliant, isn't it? Like just
What,
the
what
nosedive
choose in
there.
second? Because someone in second sees what Baldwin does, and then he's just kind of
That's
looking
Flem.
as he
That's
It is
Flem.
Flem dog. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Flem in second.
Oh well.
Flem wins it.
Yeah, I think that was it. Was it a semi?
Don't know, because
I don't know.
let's face it, he was doing that all year round, wasn't he? He'd tease everyone with the nose, wouldn't he? So I
Just
reckon them
stop
folks were
sharing.
cracked. Yeah, I reckon them folks were cracked. They were definitely gone at some point.
Well, he's probably been bashing it for like day in, day out. Massive
Yeah.
jumps everywhere.
Yeah, man.
My little
What's,
one's appeared now. Hiya, what are you doing? Are we going swimming?
Yeah, good
All right,
times.
go and have your breakfast.
Really were. Obviously, Bloomy's messaged me as well, saying the 2011 Brits.
Well,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
that's
Super emotional.
that'll always live long in my memory.
Yeah, Mappy
Yeah.
on the mic.
3 days after his dad dies, he
Yeah.
goes and wins Elite. So his dad passes away, he goes and wins Elite, and yeah, what a
Class.
guy! That was the one. I showed Kaylee the video earlier, and she cried.
Yeah.
And obviously, she knows Bloomy now, but obviously didn't know him from then.
Yeah.
But I challenge any person to watch that video and not have a tear in the eye. Because Chris says something at the end, and he says something along the lines of, your dad will be so proud of you. And I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
fucking.
Yeah,
tough
it was
one.
great that it was Mappy on the mic as well, just
Yeah.
because of that bond. Yeah, that was super
Yeah,
special.
100%. That was right for that event. And
Mm.
yeah, it couldn't have gone any other way.
It was a good one. And then loads of people just messaging saying, like, breaking my shoulder on the triple. Like, all the people that are just smashing up themselves, basically.
Yeah, what else have we got in there? Oh, so Jules reminded us of this one, which I forgot. Stu Dixon had a horrific leg break in practice, and it was just super innocuous. He put his foot down, he was sliding out, probably in turn one, put his foot down, twisted, and I'm pretty sure it was quite a gruesome compound fracture that he did. And that probably did for BMX for Stu. I think he did ride again BMX after that, but he never loved it as much, I don't think, which is probably understandable.
Was it Stu that had to have, that his leg was a bit of a mess afterwards? Did he have to have some some skin graft or something?
Probably, yeah.
I know he ended up having a tattoo over it or like beside it. I think it was a profile Imperial chainring, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But I can't
Stu,
remember.
send us in a picture of your leg. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's a cool tattoo anyway.
That sounds right.
There's honestly, I'd happily go back there tomorrow and relive all that. I don't know if I'd want modern BMX there.
No, because there was an element that it was a bit like, I'm not saying that it wasn't professional, but I think maybe modern BMX is a little bit too serious for it. What do you think,
Yeah,
Sean?
I think people would be complaining about the noise, or they would try and camp somewhere that's not near the playground, the skate park, or the bottom.
Yeah.
I don't know where that'd be, but they'd try and park somewhere away from it all. Someone would definitely go mardy about modern day underage drinking.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke last pod or the one before about if you were going to do it, you'd put it on like a holiday park or a resort. If you were to build something from scratch now, I think I'd build Cheddar slightly bigger, just try and...
Yeah, you won't get around turn one nowadays. Imagine turn one with the speed, because we couldn't get round it at 16. We were smashing each other into the boards.
I think you just need more
and
pits now.
what an addition that was, the boards, because
the boards
used to be a hell of a drop
excellent.
behind there.
Yeah, the boards were brilliant because it made it look pro and it kept you safe.
I can remember one last turn, and Nate Routledge put me over the last turn. And I was lucky that I didn't end up in a hot dog van because there was nothing behind it, wasn't there?
And off, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was nothing behind it. And I remember emotionally going over to him like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "BMX left it open." And it was like 30 seconds later, I was like, "Yeah, that's absolutely what happened." But there was there was nothing. I think I remember Miles Kirby having a really big one out there. Like someone sent him off into the fence.
Didn't he snap the fence or something?
Yeah. He sent him off into the fence. Yeah.
Miles Kirby's riding gets better and better. He rides all the time, park track, pump track. And I met him when I used to work down in Northampton, and I went to Milton Keynes to try and do gates, which was interesting because it wasn't the best gate in the world at the time. But what a cool guy. And his riding gets better all the time.
He seems to be doing it a lot, doesn't he? Like, he's aging in reverse. Fair play to him.
I think he is. Yeah. Flying Fox.
I'm sure he runs like a YouTube channel now where they go and review
I think he
pump
does.
tracks and stuff.
It's Rad Dad something.
Like
Yeah.
And he's just started a gardening business. So if you're in that part of the world and you need your gardening spruced up, he's the man. Fresh cuts.
We put out people. Probably should shout out Louis, actually, going off topic whilst we're shouting out people. Louis, he won the giveaway. So hope he's enjoying that. I think he got an Olympic t-shirt, bottle, and then an old top, race top. Ross Cullen race top. So yeah, hope he's enjoying them. He's mad happy about it.
Shout out to Ross again because he's just a gent, isn't he? We wanted to help him out, get the products out to the winner, and he's like, "No, I'll do it. Meet the cost and all that kind of thing." He's just a top lad, isn't he? And that's why I say when we loop it back to the start and him leaving the B Strong team, Ross will come out smelling of roses. He'll find a new solution. He'll have had something else under the fire because he's very commercially adept, very conscious of his value and what he can bring to the brands, and he represents himself so well, I think. I'm looking forward to the 2026 season already, see what he does. I would have liked to see him at the grounds, but, things went the way they went, and we'll see.
Can't do everything. We're going to wrap up soon. I've got to get the little one to swim in. So last ever Cheddar race, that was pretty good. I remember a couple of things about it. I remember Scott Dick saluting the flag. There's a picture on his Instagram or Facebook of the last ever Cheddar. I knocked a lump off turn one to take home as memorabilia, and I gave it to someone, and I don't know who, because it didn't come to Australia because you can't bring soil in. And where did Rob Indry's stone go?
Do you know what? I don't know.
Good point. I don't know if it's still there.
Scott Dick will know where it's gone.
That's a great shout. Yeah, find the stone.
It'll be somewhere. We'll find out. We'll find out for the Christmas show if we can.
Yeah, man.
Why did it end up at Cheddar, by the way? Because wasn't he from North? Where was he from? I'm sure he was up north, wasn't he, Rob Indry? Have I just made that up?
Well,
Because I always remember him at Coppell.
Yeah,
and
it was
I
out
don't know
of
if
my
that's because as a
time.
kid,
He's out of my
as a
time.
kid, I
didn't
always
know.
remember him doing something crazy at Coppell, but I don't know if he was from there. And maybe that's where I'm getting mixed up.
Was it
I can
purely?
only assume it was spiritual home of BMX. It was viewed as
Yeah.
a spiritual home at the time.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
because it had the big events, didn't it? It was like, it held to the many Brits. It wasn't official, but yeah, spiritual home, I guess.
What a place.
Yeah,
Well
man.
done. Well done, Pete Phillips
Incredible
and
event.
co for getting that started.
Yeah.
It's just a shame.
Yeah,
It's-
shout out to
it's
Broadway
cabins.
House.
Shout out to Broadway House for putting up. Shout out to Pete Phillips. And it's back to a comment in one of the very first podcasts we did. It takes someone to stick a chunk of, time, love, effort, money into a sport for very little return to make some of these memories happen, and that's what Pete did. Pete had a lot of cool stuff going on in BMX, and I think BMX benefited more than them.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, big up Pam as well, helping us
Pam
with the
broke her
underage
back,
drinking.
didn't she? Fell off a
Did she?
horse.
She did broke her back. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we were
Yeah.
like, where is she?
That
And
was it.
there was another
The
girl
next
behind the bar.
year.
She was like, oh, do you not heard? Like it would get
It's like
around.
we're best mates.
She
Yeah.
broke her back. So,
Fell off a horse and broke her back. She went there the next year, never to be working at the Broadway House ever again.
do you know what? I've just Googled Broadway House, and it's called Cheddar Woods now. It says in brackets,
Yeah, it is.
was Broadway House.
Yeah,
fairness,
I've often
Broadway-
looked. It's expensive to stay there.
Is it? Broadway House isn't the best name. Broadway House sounds like a mental asylum or something like that.
Or a
It
brothel.
sounds like a hospital name,
It did
Yeah,
get
it's a good
taken over,
shout.
didn't it, by like a bigger company, and it looked like it had a lot
Yeah.
of investment, didn't it? Like they'd
It's like a
completely
Centre
changed the
Parks kind of
format.
vibe now.
Yeah.
That's probably what it did for BMX. More commercial
Yeah.
company saying, I have no interest in this.
100%.
I mean, if you think about the real estate that BMX track occupied at a £500 a night cabin, it was probably worth millions, that section of land over the course of a year.
Well, I'd
So-
imagine you're going to fill it 4 weekends a year because that's how many times we ended up going half the time. On weekends, you'd never really fill it. And then them numbers to sell it to a big company, you'd be like, this sells out. They'd be like, yeah, I want a piece of that. And then as soon as the BMX track goes, I don't know how successful it's been. Obviously, it's still there, but maybe we should book a trip. Maybe we should book a trip there and just stay there for a bit of nostalgia.
I reckon a posh weekend away in a nice woodland cabin is exactly the kind of holiday that you two would go on. It's exactly the sort of thing I'd expect to see Instagram updates about.
We'll take the girls
It
and
is
we'll
now,
just go
yeah,
down the
I'll be
bottom and
honest,
just
Sean.
stay there.
Dex. Don't act like you're not like that's not you anymore, Dex. But
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Like me stating fact doesn't mean I wouldn't do it myself, but that is exactly the kind of holiday you'd go on.
we
it's
do
not a
now.
bad thing.
Yeah, I'll be fair. Yeah, we have graduated a little bit.
We'll sort it out.
Yeah, maybe we should.
We'll get that sorted. Maybe we should.
Is
do
there a
that.
spa?
Yeah.
Is there a spa close by? I'll get the girls involved.
The girls can go in the outdoor pool.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't spoken about the outdoor pool.
They've probably put some saunas
Mate.
and hot tubs in since.
That outdoor
Yeah.
pool had a tiny little shed next to it, didn't it? Like that no one would look at that and go, oh, I bet I could jump off that into that 1 meter deep pool. Whereas every BMX is like, get me
Yeah.
on that roof. I remember was backflipping off the roof into the pool. Yeah, great times.
Great
I think
times.
I only
Well,
ever used it
let's
twice
wrap
because it
up
was too cold.
and
Yeah.
let's try and do a Christmas show. And so Christmas wishes, New Year's resolutions, send them in. We can talk about them. We'll definitely try and get that done. And we'll try and publish the Christmas one on Christmas Eve as a present for you all.
Hope you enjoyed reminiscing, people, because I did.
Yeah, man.
Laters.
Ladies and gentlemen, here they are, late to the gate and racing out of lane 8. Your men, Dex, Boota and Isid.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Bikes in the van, phone in hand, BMX track in a foreign land. Dex missed his flight, it's late. I don't know why we're late to the gate. Here's Beers and bikes, we ride all night. Euro trips and rider hype. From nationals to car park chats, we chase that dream in new era caps. Sugar daddies in the VIP. BMX moms still faster than me. Dex and Buddha is it too. Talking trash, we ride it true. Baggy jeans and studded belts. The body is chaos, nothing else. Clips or flats, deadlifts or squats. Still arguing like it means a lot. Crank it up to 99. UK tracks with your lines. We're always slow, we talk a lot, but for real, this is all we've got. Late to the day, y'all.